Well, we're about halfway through the season and we're 1 point off the top of the table and in the fourth round of the FA Trophy. If we win both games on today's episode, we're putting ourselves in a very good position for the second half of this season. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 6 of One Team, One Dream, Into the Woods. My name is James. And on today's episode, we face 4th place Hartlepool at home in the National League, followed by a second home match against Notts County in the 4th round of the FA Trophy. Since you were last with me, it's almost been a perfect record, minus one blip. So after the last episode where we faced Barnet and Altrincham, we then won 2-1 at home to Aldershot. We managed to cruise past Burgess Hill in the third round of the FA Trophy, 5-0. Very convincing win. 1-0, slightly less convincing win against Woking at home. A very disappointing 3-1 away loss at Maidenhead. But then we followed that up with a 2-0 away win at Weymouth. So all in all, looking at the league table, we are currently second, 1 point off the top. We're currently 8 points from the outside of the playoffs as well, putting us in a very strong position going into the second half of the season, but keeping us in touching distance of this top bit. So if we can get a bit of run of form going, there's nothing to say that we can't jump into that top slot and really give ourselves a good run at automatic promotion. As I mentioned in the intro, we've also got a FA Trophy 4th round tie against Notts County to play as well. Notts County, who are currently 5th in the National League, so we are playing 4th and 5th on today's episode. And actually thinking about it, that probably would have been a better intro than the one that I did in the first place. The only other bit of news is we've had a little bit of unrest in some of the reserve players. Reece Brown came to me complaining about wanting feeling he deserved more first team football. I said that Kane Smith was actually playing really well, which he is. He's definitely got a positive rating for both his last 5 games and also his general average throughout the season. And I also feel he's the stronger player. Reece Brown was only ever brought in to be a backup. I said you need to be patient. He didn't like that. He got really funny about it. And then I had 3 players come to me complaining. 2 of them were reserve players, doesn't make a difference. One of them, though, slightly disappointing, was Kabongo Shimanga, who, although once I said I'd have to drop one of their teammates to accommodate Reece Brown, Shimanga was the only one that actually turned around and agreed. The rest came across as feeling let down, but at the end of the day, they're fringe players anyway, and so it's not like they're going to have much of an effect on the rest of the team. In terms of Kabongo Shimanga himself, I had another opportunity to be able to offer him a contract. I did. We had very similar discussions. He wanted far too many extras and all this bits of money thrown on top again. And if I'm honest, I'm starting to think that in January I might offer him around, see if anybody wants him, try and make a little bit of money, because we could quite happily do with maybe an extra right back to replace Reece if he's going to start to cause problems, and maybe we have to move him on as well, or maybe even bring somebody else in for central midfield. And the reason why I'm kind of erring towards seeing if we can make cash in on Shimanga is he hasn't really got going so far this season. He's come on, he's had a couple of starts. He's played a couple of times from the bench, not really done much. He's being outstripped by Nicholas McKinnon, who is 17-year-old. As far his junior in comparison to experience, but still seems having a better time. Currently, he's raised up a half a star, so he's on 2.5 star current ability now, 5 star potential ability. The other reason is I've moved Ricky Fagan up to the first team squad as well, because he's developed into a 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability player. According to his report, he is currently operating at a Vanarama national side and could improve a lot in the future. So I want him to be in and around the first team squad. And that really says to me that with those two players coming up, it kind of gives me less reason to want to keep Shimanga, as he's not really showcasing what we were hoping for and what we saw from him during pre-season. So let's get into the first match of today's episode. and we have what is pretty much a fully fit side. Bar Colhurst, who we are currently kind of keeping an eye on. He picked up a knock in the last match and is still has been recovering from it. So his match sharpness isn't the best. But as I mentioned already, we have McKinnon on the bench. I am starting Shamanga. I really want to get these two linked together as a partnership. I really want to get them firing because, I mean, yes, there's 28 goals between them. It's 22 for Colhurst and 6 for Shamanga. If we can get both of those guys firing, I think it will give us a massive opportunity going into the latter stages of the season, especially if we're going to be pushing for promotion. So this is the team that will be facing Hartlepool at home in the first of our matches on today's episode. We have Ashmore in goal, a back four of Francis and goal, Champion, Tricker and Smith, McDonnell and Ricketts in central midfield, Whiteley and Thomas out on the wings, and then Colhurst and Shamanga up front. Going into this with a balanced mentality, I went into the 3-1 loss. I actually went into with an attacking mentality. I think I might have been positive initially, actually, then we went attacking. And it had been, my assistant manager had originally stated that he felt I should do a balanced mentality. I ignored him, did what I felt would work. It didn't. So I'm kind of taking his advice on this one, playing it by ear, seeing how Hartlepool are going to see if Hartlepool are going to come at us, and then obviously we'll play it from there. And on 47 seconds, we have a free kick into the penalty area, and Colhurst, for his 23rd goal of the season, putting us 1-0 up. What a start. If this is how balance is going to work, Smith with yet another fantastic assist. It'll be interesting to see how many assists Smith has scored. See how many assists Smith has provided this season. And that's another reason why I think Reese isn't going to be able to get into the squad. But that puts us 1-0 up. It also puts us at the top of the table as well, with Wrexham obviously only drawing in their match at the moment, but as we've only really just started and not really given anyone else an opportunity to actually do anything yet. And we have another highlight here on 24 minutes. Hartlepool with the throw-in deep in their half. Dodds has got a little bit of space here to run into. Hugh sit a big ball forward for Bloomfield, who's also got a little bit of space, but he is being marked, being jockeyed, but he manages to chip it into the centre. Trekker manages to clear it. Shamanga now with the ball. Can he do something with it? Looks to try and bring it forward, but he stopped. He slowed down. It allowed the Hartlepool players to get back. We're starting to build out from the back again. Champion to Colhurst, to bring it round really well for Shamanga. Thomas coming into the penalty area. Is he going to go for the shot? Is he going to try and chip it in? First shot, second. Yes, on the second opportunity, Shamanga heads it in for his 7th goal of the season. And after 24 minutes, I think it seems that balanced is definitely the way to go, especially at home. Really giving us a balanced mentality, which is exactly what it's meant to be. But yeah, Thomas tried to take the first opportunity to cross. It got blocked. The second shot straight across to Shamanga, who nods it in for our second, making it Boreham 2, Hartlepool 0. And we have yet another highlight straight away. Smith with the throw-in, but Ferguson clears it. Only as far as Tricker. Can we just go for a third? So early in this match, Shamanga this time chipping it into the centre. Fortunately, Whiteley can't get to the ball. Now to Smith, to Colhurst. Colhurst straight at the goalkeeper. He tried to hit it on the volley first time. Fortunately, he didn't seem to be able to get any direction on it, and he kicked it straight at the goalkeeper. Right, Hartlepool with the corner, whipped into the centre. Little hits the crossbar. Back out to Donaldson, who's being marked, and he kicks it straight to Shamanga. Now we're going to counter-attack. We've got 2, 3, 4 men forward. Shamanga, though, he's in the penalty area. Can he put a cross in? He gets tackled. Is that a penalty? No, the tackle was clean according to the commentary, and it is cleared out. And unfortunately, an opportunity missed there, I think. At half-time, it is Boreham 2, Hartlepool 0. We are definitely good for the lead. If we look at the XG, we've got 1.242 to 0.36. I think we definitely have had the better of the halves compared with Hartlepool. I'm going to say outstretched arms, very pleased, keep it going, lads. One thing I have discovered, and I like to think that I'm interested to know if this is different for teams. Let me know down in the comments if your teams are reacting differently to different actions in the team talks. Because in my other Bournemouth save, they seem to react a lot better to kind of more fiery comments or kind of more kind of sort of almost pushing. Whereas actually in this one, more positive. Reinforcement seems to be working well. I don't know whether that's a lower league thing. Maybe kind of put less pressure on the team because they're a lower league. But that does seem to work a lot better than it does in my other save. and the ball is going backwards and forwards between the two teams. Ricketts with a huge ball forward. Colehurst is going to try and chase, but the Hartlepool goalkeeper hoosts it forward as well, but only as far as one of our players. Francis Angol. This is a really weird highlight, and this is worrying me. This is going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, which means I think Hartlepool are going to break in a bit. Donaldson is free in the penalty area, and I saw it coming a long time before it happened. That was it's the FM trope of a really long highlight is going to end in the opposition scoring. And I'm not sure what happened there. Featherstone, Donaldson moved through, just ran through the middle of our defence. No one followed him whatsoever. And Ashmore will be disappointed there to concede at his near post. Right, 70 minutes on the clock. Let's make some changes. I mean, that was Francis Angol and Champion that were caught off guard on that post. Right, Whiteley is not having a very good game. I think we'll bring on Watson for him. That's going to be an easy change. I mean, I'm half tempted to change Angel as well, but I don't know. Femi didn't play very well in the previous match, and has been a very on and off. I mean, he's on a 6.8. I'll leave it for the time being. I don't want to change the team too rapidly. We've only conceded one. We're not drawing or behind, so I don't want to rock the boat too much. I'm going to point the finger saying, have the faith he can go out and make a difference. He is a youngster, maybe that's putting a little bit too much pressure on him, but I know he can. I know he can score and create as well, which is something I need him to do in the second half. Right, there's only a couple of minutes left. I want to try and make another substitution. McDonald's having an awful game. I don't know where that came from. He definitely was having a positive rating earlier, but I'll swap him out for Adebayi. Do we make one final change? I mean, Angel says he's uninterested. That's fine. We'll take him off and bring on Femi for him. And we have a highlight with a corner here straight away. Kicked into the area, but Hartlepool managed to clear it only as far as Champion. Champion goes back to Smith. Chipped over the top. Unfortunately, he finds a Hartlepool defender. Now to Ricketts. To Tricker. Tricker goes this time over the top to Shamanga. Keeper comes out to collect it though. Manages to get there, but ahead of Shamanga. Avoiding the danger. Big ball forward to Bloomfield. No, Bloomfield is in the penalty area. And he's just given away a penalty. I should have taken him off. I was tempted to take him or Champion or Angel off. I think I took off the wrong person. But I mean, for how well we dominated that first half, we have been awful in this second half. I think that's it though. 2-2. Look at that. Look at the state of that in the last couple of minutes. They shot up as soon as they scored that one goal. That's really disappointing. A 2-2 at home, that's actually more disappointing than the 3-1 away at Maidenhead. Because we had that game in the bag and I don't know whether we got tired, whether we just gave up. It's happened a couple of times this season though. We've given up in the second half of games and it's not something that I want them to make a habit of. Do you know what? No, I'm not happy. I'm not going to say they were unlucky because they weren't unlucky. They played well and they gave up. It was do you know what? There's a couple of errors. Two really poor defensive errors in that second half. How did Wrexham get on? Let's go into it. Wrexham lost. Oh wow, so we still took the top of the table, so actually the draw wasn't as bad as we thought. I mean, that's actually even more frustrating. I've got such mixed emotions about this because of the fact that if we'd have won, we'd have gone 2 points clear of Wrexham, which obviously would have been far, far better, especially as we've now got a little bit of a break with the FA Trophy coming up next. But still nice to see us at the top of the table. As I said at the beginning of the series, I wasn't expecting us to be anywhere near here. You know, top half of the table I'd be happy with. The board were expecting playoffs. So the further we can get up the table, the further it gives us to fall if we do end up dropping off maybe later stages of the season. Right, we've got a week before the next fixture, so I'm going to run through that because next we have the FA Trophy 4th round. Well, I was actually considering whether to even play Champion in the next match after the errors he made in the game against Hartlepool. I think this answers it for me. If I'm honest, he's out for 4 to 7 weeks with a twisted ankle. So it's going to be at least a month, if not a month and a half, before we see him again. I'm not going to bother giving him injections. I'm going to say he's out 4 to 5 weeks. At 34 years old, any injury at all is obviously going to be bad. Right, it's FA Trophy 4th round day today. Opportunity to try and get ourselves in on a little bit of a cup run and into the 5th round of the FA Trophy. The number of times I have, when doing bits and pieces like that, have called it the FA Cup and had to redo it and call it the FA Trophy. But yeah, so only I think it's one change from the previous match. We have Fifield come in for champion, and then the shortest defender in the history of the planet, Shihab at 5'9", comes onto the bench. So the team, as I said, is pretty much unchanged. Ashmore, Angel, Fifield, Tricker, Smith, Donald, Ricketts, Whiteley, Thomas, Shamanga and Colehurst are the front two. Shamanga redeems himself a little bit by scoring in the previous match. Let's hope he can get a couple of goals in this game as well. If he starts to pick up a little bit of pace, I think he'll start to push McKinnon out and keep McKinnon on the bench. But especially with Ricky Fagan, I'm already being told by my assistant and by the coaches that he deserves some first team football, and he is really starting to develop very well. That gives me now 4 options up front, so Shamanga doesn't have the luxury of just sitting back. He needs to be putting in the performances to make me want to keep him in the side. Right, 6 minutes on the clock. We have Notts County with throw-in. It's Kelly Evans whipped into the centre. Looking for, I presume that was our striker, but couldn't find him. Shamanga, big ball forward to Colehurst. Colehurst managed to find a little bit of space. He's gone past one defender. Can he go past a second? Knocks it past the goalkeeper for his 24th goal of the season. This man is having the season of his career, and it's absolutely unstoppable at the moment. Right, Notts County have a corner, whipped into the centre, cleared by Ricketts, but only as far as Roberts. Roberts looks to try and bring it back from the back end to Doyle, to Sam, to Rodriguez. Sam there takes a shot from range with some venom on that, but luckily the goalkeeper, I think, managed to get a hand to it and pushes it over the bar. That is a worrying thing in the last probably 20 minutes of this match. As we get a highlight, Notts County have had 4 shots, only 1 on target, but we've only had the 1 shot, which was the goal that we scored. So it looks like the Notts County have kind of have woken up have woken up after the first kind of 10 minutes of the game and are now looking to try and bring it forward a little bit more. Luckily, Roberts with the wayward shot there from distance that didn't really do anything. But we do have a goal kick here with Ashmore. Unfortunately, he can only find, I think it's Parrott on that far side, out to Roberts. Roberts is in space, takes a shot. Ashmore goes low, luckily manages to block the shot. This is worrying here. Notts County are on us at the moment. Doyle's shot is also deflected out for a corner. We need to try and regroup here a little bit, because Notts County are relentless at the moment. It's going to end up with them scoring. We're corner whipped into the centre, and there it is. It was going to come. I mean, it's disappointing that it came from a corner, because a set piece is something that we should easily be able to defend, as there's less pressure than when the team's actually running at us. But unfortunately, Notts County are good for their goal. They've had 8 shots, 3 on target. We've only had 2 shots so far in this entire game. Right, I'm going to pump my fists. Actually, do you know what? Point the finger. I said I was going to be positive. Do you know what? I'm not happy. I'm just going to point the finger. Just tell them, give them a bit of a reminder that they need to be playing better. And Notts County kick off the second half with a highlight. Little chip right there for Rodriguez. Now to Kelly Evans. Now to Roberts. Roberts run into the penalty area with a bit of space. Takes a shot. Ashmore, though. Lucky the boy is straight at him and he manages to collect it. Can we create something this time? Ashmore with a big ball forward looking for Colehurst. Colehurst manages to find it. Managed to get me to stumble, but managed to get past his defender into the penalty area. That's not like him. He had 2 men in front of him. One of them would have been Shamanga. Unfortunately, he decided to go for the goal himself. You'd expect him at least to get it on target. Notts County have a highlight almost straight away with a throw-in our half. Parrott manages to get away from his man. Ashmore. That was all the goalkeeper's mistake there. That was awful. McCory with the throw-in to Parrott. Now, I'm not sure who that was in the first instance. That was Smith. Smith loses his man. But Parrott takes a shot. Ashmore, I'm sorry, I don't care how powerful it was from that range. Ashmore needs to be stopping that. We're going to have to make a substitution because we're now behind and we are playing poorly. Fifield is having oh my god, everyone's having an awful game. Where do I even start with this? I mean, to start with, we're going to go attacking because we need to. Right, I'm going to take Fifield off. He's on a 6.4. He's also on a booking. I actually bring on Femi for him instead of Shihab. Femi, he's not great back there, but he can do a job for us in central defence. I think we're going to need to make a second substitution as well. I'm thinking maybe I put Whiteley out on that far side. Do you actually maybe swap them across? I'm going to swap them across, see if that makes any difference. I was tempted to take Ricketts off, but I don't want to take our captain off as well. I think I'll take McDonnell off actually, bring on Adebayi. Then the last substitution is likely to be one of these two coming off if they haven't improved in the next kind of 10-20 minutes. Right, we're coming up to 70 minutes. Ask the team to fire up. Let's make our final substitution. I mean, that answers it there straight away. Thomas is on 6.2. He's coming off. Actually, do you know what? Scratch that. Whiteley's coming off. Swap them over. Let's put Thomas back on that far side again. Hopefully he'll be a little bit happier over there. Also notice Angel's on a 6.3 as well. We are playing so poorly in this match. I don't see us getting anything from this game at all, which is going to be really frustrating for how well we were playing coming into this episode. I think let's push some people forward a little bit further. Why not? We might as well go all out. Push those forward. Let's bring Ricketts forward a little bit more. Let's push Adebayi up as a... Let's go for Mazzala on attack. Let's push Watson forward as well. Let's push Shamanga forward as well. Let's go everyone forward. Anything we can do to try and get a goal. Thomas with the ball out to the centre, trying to find Colehurst. Unfortunately, he can't. Ricketts with the ball now to Adebayi. Whipped out wide. To who that? That was supposed to be to Smith. Smith was nowhere near that. Thomas with the ball now. Loses out yet again to their full-back. Sam now has the ball for Hartlepool, but Hartlepool, Notts County, but we managed to win the ball back. Now Thomas has the ball in the penalty area. Fortunately, yet again carrying on his poor form in this match, and doesn't manage to get a shot across, but we managed to get corner. Thomas again whipped into the centre. Yet again another set piece cleared. Being the fact that they managed to score from their set piece, we can't do anything with it. Shamanga in the centre on the volley. Fortunately, can't keep it down, which is a shame because he has been playing well so far in this match. We have another highlight though. Angol with the throw into Colehurst to Adebayi. Takes a shot straight, just whistles over the bar. These are opportunities we should be taking, and we're going to regret it if we don't. We have yet another highlight. Thomas with the free kick, whipped into the centre. Femi there, this time goes past the post. We need to be getting these on target. I mean, we've got 30 seconds, 25 seconds left. So I'm going to demand more. I don't think it's going to make any difference at all. I think this is just both out of both cups now. There we go. That's disappointing. I mean, we were facing a team that's obviously playing quite well. They're fourth or fifth in the table at the moment. But even with that resurgence in the last kind of couple of minutes, we still couldn't do anything with it, and it was all the opportunities we had where they were over the. I think 3 of the 4 highlights in that second half, in the second bit of that half, were whistling over the bar or past the post and not getting the shots on target. I'm going to agree with my assistant manager. Not happy out there, Thomas. You better be anxious because I'm going to be having a word with him after the match. He's for how good he is, he should be one of the talismans in our team. He shouldn't be the one having the poor performance. Well, we got £1,500 for going out of the FA Trophy. I think that makes a grand total of about £5,000 we made in that tournament, which, if I'm honest, doesn't even really scratch the surface. We are hemorrhaging money so far this season. We are just under our wage budget, but it appears that we're going to need to get promoted fairly soon because with the amount of money we're spending, we're obviously not able to bring in the gates to be able to keep up with that. So the hope is that our gates get better, or that we go up and hopefully try and get some of that League Two money to be able to inject into the finances. So in terms of when we're coming back, it's actually, I think it's going to be straight away. So I think I'm going to pay the Kings Lynn match offline, and then we'll come back for Wrexham and Dagenham and Redbridge. It's going to be two episodes in January, but we'll also capture hopefully the end of the transfer window then. So if we have made any signings, or if there's been any outgoings, we'll be able to cover them off in that episode as well. So unfortunately, 2 disappointing matches and two disappointing results. But if you did enjoy that, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of brand new FM21 videos as they come out. And thank you very much for watching.